By the way, does anybody ever ask you about the wide receivers?
It's never, ever been asked, Mike. I don't know what you're talking about.
We're just amongst friends.
Just amongst friends.
Yeah.
I have a quote here from your good buddy, Josh Allen, who's on NFL Network. He was asked about your golf game.
Okay.
Josh Allen said, I think I beat him the last time we were out there.
He is a talker. He did not beat me the last time out. That's
Okay.
100%
controversy.
false.
We got you.
That's,
Let's separate that out.
that's
There we go.
100% false.
Okay.
Year number 9 for you. How have you changed?
Oh, that's a great question.
This is the Buffalo Plus Podcast, brought to you by Connors and Ferris.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Buffalo Plus Podcast. Well, in my backyard, and look who came to visit again. Mike Catalano, along with Dan Fates and Jenna Cottrell. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. With us,
You know how it works.
Yeah.
the general manager of the Buffalo Bills, Brandon Beane. Welcome to the podcast.
Appreciate you
Welcome
guys
back.
having me on.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Second annual Mike Catalog podcast.
All right, so it's Brandon Beane. A lot of guys, we will call you Brandon. Josh calls you Beane. You got Big Baller Beane. What do you prefer?
Oh,
Are you Beane? Like for most people, or are
most
you
people would
Brandon?
just go by my last name. if
Has
they
it
know
always
me.
been that way?
Yeah, since, all my coaches, I don't think teachers call me that unless they were also my coach, but yeah, all my coaches from, when I started sports in second, third grade, all the way up, it was mostly Bean or something off that Beaner or whatever.
At what part did Josh start calling you Beane? Not as a rookie.
No, well, yeah,
He was
he
Mr.
did.
Bean.
Yeah.
Mr. Bean.
He didn't do that. I think pretty quickly he called me. I'm like, dude, don't call me Mister. That's my dad.
I remember when we first met Josh when he was a rookie and he came over and he was like, we were waiting for him to walk over to the media scrum and he was a little bit late. And I remember him being like, I'm so sorry. My name's Josh. It's so nice to meet you. Thank you for waiting. We were all like, okay.
Yeah, we know who you are.
Yeah, we're like,
Yeah.
we know who you are.
It's like when Khalil introduced himself to us. Like, it's so nice to meet you guys. I'm Khalil Shakir. It's like, yeah, we know, man.
Yeah, it's
we
like,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
We appreciate
That's
that.
why we're here.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
Mike did that today at practice. He tried to get Christian Benford, and he goes, I'm just going to do a few more reps. And Mike goes, yeah, sure, go right ahead. As if, like, he was allowing Christian
I said,
Thanks for letting him do that. man. Appreciate it.
yeah, I know you wanted him to get a little
Yeah, we
work
kind of need him to
practice,
be
so
as
we
good
let
as he
him
can
do
be.
it.
I love it. No, I know for you guys, you love having the players come here to Fisher, being away for camp. But I'm just curious, like for you and your staff, I know you love it for the players, but what does it do for you all as a group?
Yeah, it's great because the same thing. It gives you a chance, an opportunity. It's forced bonding. You're not like, oh, it's 7 o'clock. I got to get to my kid's game, or I need to swing by CVS and pick up prescription for somebody in the house, whatever it is. Because wives are running their way, and or spouses, even for some of the females we have on staff. So it's kind of one of those things. When you come up here, your families all know, hey, you're here, you're locked in, and there's gonna be time where you're working, but there's also sometimes, hey, it's 9 o'clock. Let's go somewhere and grab a drink and just not, maybe work comes up, but maybe it's life stuff, and it's just a chance. The more you're around each other, the more you form those bonds, the more you can deal with any adverse situations that come your way, and that's why Sean and I like to do that, and the Pagulas as well, to bring our team up here, and it works with it also even cross-pollinates different staff members. There's opportunities for scouts to spend time with coaches or medical staff, your weight staff, especially our college guys. Our college scouts are here right now. They're going to be leaving soon, but once they go, they hit the road running. So this is a good opportunity for a little over a week for them to kind of mingle with not only some of our players but some of our support staff.
Year number 9 for you. How have you changed?
That's a great question. You guys should probably tell me. But no, I think just, I talk about this with some of our rising scouts or support staff. Like every lap around the track, I try and take notes and look at what went well and what didn't. So I think just probably how I communicate with my staff, things that, I think I've evolved from the standpoint they know what the standard is or what we expect. So I'm less time on that and more on finding ways how we can get better and how we can improve. And I think it's easier to stay on the same page when you walk into a staff meeting. We've had a lot of continuity here across our football. If I got Nate Bresky, Jeff Mazurik, Joe Collins, our analytics staff, like Dennis Locke, whoever it is, we all sit down as a group, and I feel like we're on the same page right away versus, when you don't have that continuity.
Because I was wondering, because we always ask Sean and we ask players, how often do you self-reflect over what you were like when you started to now the GM you are today?
Yeah, I mean, I don't do a lot of self-reflection, but I do from the standpoint of, like, how do we get better? What was our process good? I'm constantly taking notes. Like, I go back sometimes and look at comments I made after the 2022 draft or the 2023 free agency. Like, what, maybe we should have done this, or anything that comes up, or something to remind yourself, especially the draft. It's so unpredictable, how it can, you go through 100 scenarios, and sometimes you come up with a scenario that does get presented, but there's many times you don't get that scenario presented. But I'm trying to keep tedious notes to study and learn, and hopefully, each time through the draft, like, to be more patient. That's one of my flaws, as you guys know. You're always prepared for me to trade up because I can't help myself sometimes. I see a guy that I'm like, man, we really like this guy. We've loved him through this process. I don't think he's going to last much longer. And sometimes I've been patient and got him. Sometimes I haven't. And I'm like cussing myself internally, not out loud in the room. But I think those are all learning experiences, and you just try to get better each time.
How do you become more patient? Like, do you sit on your hands? This is someone you talk to that I'm like, hey, talk me out of this. Like, what do you do in that instance?
Yeah, I mean,
because I would struggle.
I try and put notes on a plan. I try and talk through with, the Brian Gaines, the Terrence Grays, the Matt Bazergans, people that we're going through that draft process with, and just, hey, let's. We really let's just say we feel like, hey, this draft, there's going to be a lot of depth in the 3rd and 4th round. Like, if you feel me itching to move up in one, like, remind me, like,
remember that conversation we had.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Now, sometimes you get into the 2nd round and you're going, man, there's more guys getting peeled off in our 3rd round already so then maybe that makes you adjust, maybe it doesn't. You never truly, like I said, it's unpredictable, but you try and put, little people beside you to kind of remind you, when you get the adrenaline going of, man, I really like this player.
Yeah. You did a lot of work, you and your staff, to get to the 91, to bring all these guys out. When you walk out on the field at camp, is there a place your eyes go first? Is there a group you're looking at first?
Yeah, I mean, because, back in the day, you started with pads right away. We obviously have this ramp-up period. So I find myself, more looking at the skills, receivers and DBs probably more than anyone, because the running backs, they're not, they're doing their thing. Unless they're in the pass game, I'll pay attention to them. But definitely watching the quarterbacks, watching our corners who, kind of just work through their footwork drills, watching the receivers run routes, who's catching the ball, who's not. Today, first day of pads, though, I'm going over there to watch O-line, D-line. Like, I want to watch these guys one-on-one. The 9-on-7 period where everybody in the house knows these are run plays. And, and it is an advantage for the defense, but it's fun to see, the offense when they are able to, open a hole enough for, one of the backs to squeeze through there.
By the way, does anybody ever ask you about the wide receivers?
It's never, ever been asked, Mike. I don't know what you're talking about.
We're just amongst friends.
Just amongst friends?
Yeah.
Is this the Rochester ass, not the Buffalo ass? No, it's
there are idiots everywhere.
there are idiots everywhere. That'll never change, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So you have this group now. You made some changes. You got some talent that you brought in. At the moment, looking ahead, how do you look at that group? And I know you include the tight ends in that group and get both Dawson and Dalton healthy. How do you look at this group compared to maybe even what you had, which was so successful last year?
Yeah, I mean, I think, our goal is to try and find as many, I call them mismatch weapons whether it's a tight end, even a running back. Like, you can line up James Cook or Ty Johnson, and Ray's got good hands too. But, it's not just, quote unquote, who goes in the receiver meeting room. Like, we're looking at when we play games. I mean, you see us, sometimes there's games where we feature our 21 package and we're hitting Reggie Gilliam downhill. We're not throwing him the ball, but I say all that is like when we put this offensive roster together, it's how many different variables, how many different things can we get the other team to think about and have to prepare for it, and where can we find mismatches based on the opponent and what they do well versus what we think are the weaknesses that we want to attack. And this group is it's got a lot of the same pieces, but it's got a few new pieces. A Josh Palmer, we add an Elijah Moore. We've added Laviska Chenault's been banged up a little bit here to start camp, get him going, and then you bring back Keon in year 2. Khalil Shakir has been as steady as one could ever be, and I think nationally Khalil probably gets undervalued, underappreciated. Just he's not an outspoken guy like many receivers can be. If he catches one ball or catches 10, like he's the same guy.
Yeah.
And I think the unit works, because Josh walks out of the huddle and he doesn't care who's out there. If it's Tyrell Shavers, if it's Jalen Virgil, if it's Keon Coleman, like wherever the defense tells him to throw the ball, he's going to do that. And that's why Joe Brady wears his hat. He says everyone eats. Or everybody eats. That's what we like, and that's where we're at right now and how we like to build this thing.
For you, like Khalil Shakir, when you drafted him, you obviously saw the potential in him, but are you even impressed in the way that he's able to ascend his game?
Yeah, I mean, he's just we loved his hands coming out. We loved his toughness and thought he was a sneaky rack player, but I think he's better than a sneaky rack player. Yeah. That was kind of what I gave him at Boise, but he is just Mr. Dependable. Definitely thought he had sneaky speed. He ran a better time than I thought I saw. But I tell you, with the ball in his hands, that's when I see that speed.
Yeah.
Like maybe
plays fast.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like he gets. Most people would naturally, you would think, carrying a ball, slow down a little bit. I feel like there's something about him, and I think James Cook, he's the same way. Like Jimbo gets that corner with that ball, I feel like he's faster with it in his hand. And again, you're talking about Khalil, but I just think he's one of those guys. He is at his most dangerous point when that ball's in his hand.
Yeah. How has your relationship with Josh evolved from rookie to MVP?
Yeah, I mean, we've always had an open relationship. I think early on as he was maturing, I was more of I still bust his balls, but it was more of like just you're talking to your big little brother,
right.
But you're just busting his chops like, dude, you're still feeling your way. You're still, wet behind the ears in this league.
Yeah.
There's things you got to learn. And the best way I felt to communicate with him was to kind of make fun of him or bust his chops. But he has, grown, as we all know, and turned himself into, even before he won the MVP, he was an MVP caliber player, even though he didn't win it.
Right.
Like he's been in the conversation for a few years. Mm-hmm. And so as he's done that, I feel even the maturity off the field of being able to have those conversations early on. He didn't know enough to know what our team needed or what more specifically our offense needed. But I think now he does deserve an opportunity to throw 2 cents in. It doesn't mean we're going to do it, but we definitely value it and understand it. And, it's important to have his perspective, because sometimes I'm not in the, never am I in the huddle, but there's things I don't,
Yeah.
in the locker room or certain things that maybe you think something and maybe he can fill in the blank. So I think he's earned that. And I don't think he takes advantage of it. Like he's not blowing me up all the time. He'll call and say, hey, spoke to this player, he would be interested in coming here. I do like his game or I don't like his game, but I understand if you don't want him or, and sometimes I'll tell him, I hear you. I don't think he's a great fit because of this.
Yeah.
If he has something to come back, I'll listen. But if I don't make the decision of what he thought, he doesn't sulk or anything like that.
Yeah.
He understands, sometimes we got to do what we got to do.
I have a quote here from your good buddy, Josh Allen, who was on NFL Network. He was asked about your golf game.
Okay.
Josh Allen said, I think I beat him the last time we were out there. He's been playing pretty solid. He sends me texts to say things like, I shot 72, though he never shoots that when he's with me. He can poke it, don't get me wrong. He can outdrive me once in a while. But when he's playing with the big boys, we drive it past him when he tries to get a little more into his swing, and it causes him to go haywire. This is the guy you drafted number 1 for your team and your franchise, and he's taking shots at your golf game of all things.
He is a shit talker. No, listen, he did not beat me the last time out. That's
Okay.
100%
Controversy.
false.
We got you.
That's,
Let's separate that out.
that's
There we go.
100% false.
Okay.
He has beat me, but it was not the last time. Last year, he was 0 against me the 3 or 4 times we played, whether it was here or at Cragburn.
Yeah.
We're both at Cragburn, but he has beat me. His game, I'll give him credit. He went from trying to see how far he could hit a driver or 3-wood to, actually trying to play golf and
It's like his football. It was like 2018.
no doubt. Very similar trajectory with his golf game. He's gotten good, although I don't think Tahoe went as well for him this year. I think he was a little disappointed.
Good shot. Get him back. Right.
He hasn't talked about that trip very
Yeah,
much.
it's funny how that works.
Wait a minute. Sean played Tahoe. Did you play Tahoe?
No,
How they not had you out there yet?
I don't know. I'm a slappy.
No.
I got a
0.3 handicap slappy.
Yeah.
Well, talking about just like social media, and I mean, you getting that quote off of that, like, how do you, with the players, kind of balance the immediate reaction and the pressure and sometimes the criticism that can come off of social media? How do you kind of prepare the guys for that and even the coaching staff to help players along with that pressure?
Yeah, I mean it's a new world we're in. I mean it's not new of now, but it's new from 10, 15 years ago of the pressure. I mean everyone's got an opinion, and we're definitely getting new players from college. I mean you add NIL, guys that are coming in with money, and all the things with social media. Mark Carrier and his staff, Dr. Dez, they do a great job of bringing in not just them speaking up there, but bringing in people from the outside. This spring, we even had, now that Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady, to give kind of their perspective of some things that they learned through their career. And obviously the games or the landscape of social media has changed even more since they've gotten out of the NBA. But we bring in, ex-players, not necessarily Buffalo Bills. Sometimes they are, but you just try and give them as much as you can, educate them, surround them, put a support system in place, and, encourage them and know that, we control inside these walls. That's what it matters.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's not even just fans. Sometimes it can be pressure from family, putting on to people or, people that they've known for years, close friends, whatever. You'd be surprised at some of the pressures that these guys face. And I think, you even hear stories of, parents that maybe are split up and the player got a signing bonus and mom and dad got their hand out. Hey, I want my 100,000. I helped you get into whatever school you got into.
I always tell my friends and people that ask about it, it's like people think that NFL players or pro athletes are like robots.
Yeah.
They have lives. Yeah. They have bad days with their spouses and kids and all that stuff. And we always ask them how they handle that adversity. How do you, as a general manager, over these years, handle the adversity, whether it's a game, whether it's a result, whether it's a player that you did or didn't get? How do you handle that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it starts with you got to have, no matter what you are, no matter whether you're Josh Allen, the quarterback, you're Sean McDermott, whoever, you got to have your things in order at home and a stable people around you, no matter who you are, because if that's noisy or that's problematic, and then you add the turmoil or the toughness that can come with this job, the wins and the losses and good days and bad days, maybe you're not as level-headed. And so, fortunately, I've got a great family, a good support system that are there with the highs and there with the lows, and that helps me. And I've been through a lot of things. This is my 28th year starting in the NFL. which is crazy. I'm dating myself here, but it's nuts to think I've almost been in this league 30 years. And I've seen so many things. You know, we were talking when Mike started, when the year Thurman Thomas.
They took videos like he was recording like this.
Hey,
It was just getting to color.
you're not that far off.
But in all seriousness, I think, you know, it's not easy, but you just try and not make rash decisions.
Yeah.
Just let everything calm down and know that you're never going to please everyone. Make the best decision, in this case, for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Not necessarily what's in my best interest, not what's the easiest thing, but always think back to what is the best interest in the organization and try and protect the player or a coach or a staff member the best you can.
When you think about your organization, you've had a lot of people together for a long time. Like, even for us, you know, sometimes it can be pressured. And Dan and I somehow deal with Jenna and all the problems that she causes with us. There it is. That's right.
You grabbed the right mug. Dan's right.
I know, he grabbed the right
That's what
one.
I need to remember, right? Jenna is right. You and Sean, how have you guys in a high pressure jobs, both, how have you make it work for this long?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not easy. It's never going to be easy when you're in the competitive fishbowl environment that we're in, and as Jenna was talking about, things are second guess, things don't always work out, and you know, neither one of us operate by groupthink with our staffs and not with each other. There's plenty of times, but we're both very respectful of each other, and you know, if we are at a disagreement, and listen, you're together going into season 9, you're going to have plenty of those, and there will be plenty more, but we do it behind closed doors. We don't do it in front of our staff. And at the end of the day, we walk out of there and we know what accord we're on. And we hope that whichever way we go, if we go the way, you know, if Sean was wanting to do A and I was wanting to do B and we go with A, you know, I'm still hoping that Sean's right, that that's the way we're going. And I 100% trust that he wants the same, you know, if we go the way that I'm going. And so I think that's where it starts. It starts with respect and kind of what I was saying earlier. We both respect each other. We respect how tough our individual roles are. And there's certain times a year that there's a lot of pressure on him. There's certain times a year there's a lot of pressure on me. And I think we both feel that and try to be supportive. And the one thing I know for a fact, even if we're in disagreement, there's never one day that I've thought Sean McDermott wasn't trying to do what's best for the Buffalo Bills. And I would hope that he would say the same about me.
Yeah, and the pressure ramps up because you have been obviously so close.
Yeah.
And you joked about, you know, when I started covering the team was when they went to 4 Super Bowls. And it always frustrated me to hear people speak negatively about those Bills teams because to me, all they did was win until that last game. You guys are just one notch behind that. But with that comes that additional scrutiny on the smallest of small things. Here we are in July, and you're trying to get back to that spot, and you've been there multiple times now. That adds pressure, but it also adds probably expectations for you guys too, because we've done it, we've gotten that close. We think now we have what it takes to get over to the next spot, and that can add pressure internally, right, between you and the coaches and the staff and everything that way, but you've avoided that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all, when the season's over, each season, and yes, we've had some painful, close losses. That's just, there's no other way to do it. And like I said, I've been in this business a long time. If you don't win your last game, it is painful. And the further you go, you know, the worse it hurts. And so, yes, but I think we start with not making any rash, you know, judgments right after a game or 2 days, no matter what happened, you know, on the field, and we come back and we have level-headed conversations. But I just think ultimately it comes back to everyone is, you know, we surround ourselves with people that have a common goal. It's not about me, it's about we. And I'm determined, and I think Sean is as well, and our staff, like, we're not going to give in. Like, let's learn. Every time you lose, it's a lesson, right? It's a lesson on why you came up short. And so let's learn from that, and let's see if we can tweak this here or there. I mean, like, as long as Terry Pagula is going to have me in this role, like, I'm not giving in at any point. Like, and I would guarantee Sean would say the same thing. Like, we're going to keep swinging the sword. I think I said that after the season. Like, people want to say, sometimes Mike wants you to blow up the team because you came, and it's like, why would you do that? Yeah. Like, sometimes it's a bounce of a ball, a play here, a play there, that you're right here, a field goal kick that just goes, there's just so many things. You're going to blow up your team because of that. That's irrational. And that's why I think, Terry Pagula has followed our plan. We, when it's over, we explain to him how the season went. We talk through it, and we talk every week after each game, what our issues are, what we're doing well, where we need to get better. And then when the season's over, this is the cap. These are some tough decisions. These are where we need to attack in free agency or the draft, and kind of take it from there.
How do you balance that? Like, not trying to rebuild everything, tear down the roster, but also making adjustments. Like, in your eyes, what is your philosophy behind that?
Yeah, I think you have to have two plans going. You have to have a long-term plan. Like, I can't just sit here every year, and in this case, look at 2025. And then next year, we're in 2026. I'm going to look at it. So I'm constantly, a lot of meetings with Kevin Meegank, and we're and sometimes our personnel staff just kind of going through, hey, guys, I don't know if we're going to be able to afford this player or this player. So as we start looking at this upcoming draft, let's make sure we're paying attention. And then I'm talking to our pro scouts, make sure we're getting early grades on these positions because we may need to attack them in free agency. So that's your constant long-term planning. But then each year, there's certain things you can't predict how the season ends. Yeah. And so, you know what? Maybe some players that you thought you were going to have to replace, some players play better. And you're like, you know what? Maybe the answer's on my roster. And then maybe there's some guys that didn't meet the expectations you thought. And so you never lock yourself in cement and say, this is what we're doing. Like, I can't tell you next March right now, 100% every move we need to do. But I do have some ideas of some things that are probably I'm going to be dealing with cap and player decisions.
You want to talk cap?
You know what he's going to say.
Do you need the mug?
See, like, you're a friend of the channel. So, like, you're a friend of this. The NFL's catching on. They're trying to do some things to adjust the cap because I think they subscribe to Buffalo Plus.
Yeah, Roger Goodell's a subscriber. Yeah.
Stop the manipulation of the cap.
That the good teams, like the Bills, do.
Right, and to try and level the playing field. Is that...
So go ahead, tell them.
Salary cap isn't real.
The salary cap is 100% real. Come sit in my office. Line by line, what it is. If you drew, a line at 0 across here, over an arc, if you go over it, it's at some point it's got to come back.
Yes.
It's got to come back under cash to cap. Okay. If you spend $10 million over cash, at some point it doesn't mean you do it in 1 year, but it's going to equal it out.
My brain void years,
Mike, it's still got to come back around. At some point, you got to pay the piper.
I was going to say, so you mean you have to pay your bills?
You do. No pun intended.
I was going to say.
I had to do it.
Yeah, he had to do it.
It's real. I wish it wasn't real.
Me too.
It is.
Because it would prove my hot take.
It would make my job easier.
Yeah, I'm sure it would.
I still think Goodell's been watching. I really do. I wanted to ask one thing. We don't really see you during the game. What are you like during a game, and how do you deal with? Because a coach can yell at somebody.
Yeah.
You're in a booth. Like, what are you like during a game?
Yeah, my head's about to explode. I've learned to pack Advil with me. Because you're right. I honestly wish I was down on the field doing something, even if I was just passing out water, to take my mind off of stuff, because you're constantly thinking and you're stressing and you're sitting on your hands just hoping that, the work is done. There's nothing I can do. Once we turn those inactives in, an hour and a half before the game, there's nothing I can do to help our team win the game on the field. And so it's probably like someone who has who orchestrates a play, and once you put your actors on, the plays, if they screw it up, they screw it up.
I like that analogy.
There's really nothing you can do at that point till it's over, and you can analyze it, and make moves from that. But it's not easy. I try to stay pretty calm. I watch the games with Terry. Brian Gain and Terrence Gray are in there as well. And, I try and have conversations with Terry, especially if there's stuff we practiced that week. Hey, you may see this if Terry wasn't there.
Yeah.
It helps just keep him in the flow. What's going on, or why is this player playing over this player? Well, this is going on. And so it helps me keep him educated through the game. And then, I try to stay like this, but yes, sometimes there's a huge play and I may get a little excited.
Do you have somebody you vent to, like a family member that you could just say whatever, text them during a game and be like, I can't believe this or whatever it is? Or is that not the way you would operate? You just, because you can't really release, I guess a little bit with the owner of the team, you could say what you want, but.
Yeah, I really don't say much in there that's anything like from a release if I'm frustrated about something.
Right.
Other than maybe the officials.
Yeah.
Something like that. I may do that. But if it's something internally, I don't, unless I'm answering a question for Terry, I usually internalize most of that. I keep a lot of notes on each drive, like things that I want to remind myself when I go back and watch the film. I'm constantly kind of writing notes. I'm writing run, pass, penalties, just so I can look at halftime like, man, we've already got 3 pre-snap penalties. Like that's not good.
Yeah.
We need to clean that up, things like that. But again, nothing that can really change the outcome of the game.
A lot of pacing.
No.
I
usually sit there.
Really? Do you eat?
Not very much. Sometimes
I gotta know.
pre-game, but no, usually I just hydrate.
Wow.
Catalana lives in the press box, while we're
Yeah, I was just saying.
doing the real work.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Sometimes one of them gets to sit up in the press box with me.
Yes.
And then they come up there and they go, oh, it's pretty nice in the press box.
Yeah.
So it was pretty good.
Especially in December.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's the heat. It was the heat in Miami, and Mike came down. He's like, yeah, it wasn't as hot as I thought. And it was the Miami game in 2022.
Yeah. It was like pretty hot.
That was
Yeah.
pretty hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty
Cool
hot
in the press box.
It was pretty hot.
Totally cold.
It was pretty hot on the sidelines.
Yeah, sweatshirt
Yeah.
on.
Right. This is the way it goes sometimes.
I gotta ask you, what was it like seeing Josh walk across the stage and get the NFL MVP?
Yeah, like a proud family member. Like, proud dad, proud big brother, whatever it is. It's just like, and his speech, man, he nailed it. Like, it just...
He said he didn't practice, but I don't know.
To be honest with you, he's gifted with that. The kid's gifted with everything. It really is. So it wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't, as hard as that is to believe, I do believe him on that. He's got a way. I've seen him interact with kids, politicians, people in our building that he doesn't interact with every day, on the business side. It's easy for him. Like, he's a natural at it. He understands the setting. He understands if he's in a hospital with children. He understands if he's on the sideline with kids, high-fiving them, making their day. It's just, it's eerie how easy it is for him. Some people are good in one setting, but the next setting makes them nervous. I don't really know what makes him nervous.
Or some people, it feels fake.
Yeah.
Like,
He's as genuine.
And we talked about it a lot, too. His best ability, especially with the media, is he's self-aware.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's not taking himself too seriously or knowing the right things to say, like, he's great with the media.
Heck of a draft pick by you.
Yeah, well done, man.
Appreciate that. You guys approve that?
Yeah, we do.
One of the few that I get approval for.
I know you make some big moves. You take some big risks. I did that myself, having Dan officiate the wedding. What do you make of the decision?
Man, wow. I thought he must have been a fill-in, like the
Catalana got sick.
the first stringer got sick at the last minute, and Dan raised his hand.
No.
Tight. Were you tight on the budget?
We were.
I got to Saratoga. It was a nice wedding.
He crushed it. I told him
Really
it
good
was
job.
better than I've seen him do.
Have you done
anything
one
else.
before?
No.
She went with a
I went
rookie.
with the rookie. I did.
Like, what made you do this? Had you had too many libations?
I looked at my board. I checked my board.
You lost a bet?
She trusted the board.
I
The
trusted
only one that was left available on that day was me. Yeah, I got the early laugh. I said, we're all here for these two amazing people and the open bar. Right off
Open
the
bar
bat.
joke.
Right off the bat. Got some chuckles, and then it was, stand up for about 7 minutes.
Yeah, he did a great
Got
job.
out of the way.
Where'd you get married at?
Saratoga Springs, where I'm from. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
nice.
So it was wonderful, and Dan did a great job, and it was.
And as far as I know, I put the paperwork in the mail. So as far as
I
know,
believe we're legally married.
Yeah.
So.
it's really easy to be an ordained minister. Yeah. It's an email address.
Well, I figured when she said you were, it must be not be too hard.
Well, you never know. Sometimes with the details, like the cap, he doesn't have all the
It wasn't an
details.
essay or a test.
Well, hopefully it's not voided by the state.
By the time this airs.
That's great. Hey, this is wild for us because you can't see. We got the whole NFL Films crew here. First of all, they come for you. They're in my backyard with all of us. This has been great for us. This is 2 years in a row. This is a steady invitation. I know, Brandon, you like coming out here. You got Derek Boyko, who's going to comment on my patio and tell me what I need to do. But we really appreciate you coming out here and bringing your friends who mic you up all the time to be out here with us.
No, this is fun. This was cool. I'm glad that they were able to get over here, and we love it. Your neighborhood is awesome. You got
This is your walking track.
every morning we keep saying sometimes your garage is open.
Yeah.
We keep saying we're just going to walk in and see if there's like eggs and sausage.
Just come in.
Muffins.
Believe me,
Yes.
It makes unbelievable.
Yes.
there's some in there now.
Yeah, they're delicious. Truly.
So, yeah.
Well, we may do it. Don't dare us.
Okay.
We tell Mike if he's gonna move, he's just got to move down the street
Yeah.
because we can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We already did that once. We used to live there.
6:20 in the morning. Do us all a favor.
That is not going to be a problem. All right, Brandon, thanks again so much for being with us. This was really awesome. We appreciate it for everybody. That's going to do it for this special edition of the Buffalo Plus podcast. For our entire team, Jenna Cottrell and Dan Fates, and our new friends at NFL Films, and for Brandon being the general manager of the Bills, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for being with us on the Buffalo Plus podcast presented by Connors and Ferris.